Hi, everybody. Here's Linda Fries with Healthy Easy Green, and I'm here today with two friends, Joy Edgerton and Sarah Cranston, who I've just met now through Joy. Joy is a friend that I've known since Vermont days, and Joy right now is up in Vermont in New England, getting, waiting for spring. And we have Sarah with us here today, who is camping, being a brave camper out in a secluded wood in Oregon. And she showed us the beautiful view that she's got, and she's there to reflect and rest and write. And I just think that is the coolest thing ever. So, wow, that's really great, Sarah. And the reason I wanted to get these lovely girls on today is because they have an amazing story to share. We know that for a lot of people, excess pounds, excess weight is a problem, especially in maybe my case. I want to talk for me and maybe Joy and other people. Menopause is kind of a thing that can pack on a few pounds too. And COVID, seclusion, lockdown, shutdown, all of that happened this year. And these girls have had some really amazing results with one program, and I wanted to have them share that with you. So what I'll do is I'm going to start with Joy, and Joy can kind of tell me the background of her and Sarah, how they got together. So Joy, how did this all get started?
I've been friends with Sarah through Facebook, and then we've met in person several times many years ago. And we've always trusted each other's judgment. So if she stumbles upon something, whether it's a good book, whether it's a personal development program or product, I listen. And it just so happened that I had been with a company that had a product that was discontinued. Mm-hmm. And people continued to contact me asking for this particular product because they wanted more energy. They wanted to lose weight. They wanted to cut their cravings, whatever the case may be. And I had nothing to offer them. I would say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And Sarah knew that, but she was introduced to this in the fall. And I'll never forget because she did a post and tagged me on Facebook. I'm like, I don't like to be tagged. But there she was standing ta-da, having released, 10 pounds in a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be. But here's the thing is she never called me, but I trusted her judgment. And I literally watched Sarah and several mutual friends just get fitter, healthier, happier, and shrinking. Wow. And so right before Christmas, I think I got a call from someone else who wanted this product and it wasn't available. So I remember calling Sarah and I'm like, okay, I'm open. Not to mention it's the holidays. And I think I might've been brave enough to step on the scale, which I did maybe twice a year. And I couldn't believe the number. And I'm like, you know what? I need this. Yeah. And I'm seeing what's happening with you, Sarah, with Mitzi and other mutual friends. Yeah. And I just, I loved everything about it. And I knew Sarah's journey last year. And I think it's really a value to share, Sarah, what you were going through, because I think that, you were looking at it from a nutritional standpoint and energy and health. Of course, if you lose weight, that's great too. But the benefits that you got from it. And what do you say? I traded shredded nerves for shredded curves.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell them a little bit about your story, because I think that's really important.
Yeah, sure. Right. It's amazing.
Sure. So last year was stressful for everyone. I don't know anyone who had a glorious 2020, but mine was quite a bit extra. My youngest son and his girlfriend were in a terrible accident. They were riding a motorcycle and were hit by a car, which is never a good formula. And they were both critically injured. My son more so than his girlfriend. He had a lot of internal damage, and they said it would be 12 to 18 months for him to walk again. They wanted to amputate his left foot. I mean, he had a lot of very serious things going on, multiple blood transfusions. I wasn't allowed in for the first 10 days, which as a mom, not being able to get to your, baby, was incredibly stressful. And then when we were finally able to get both of them out of the hospital and into a rehabilitation condo where I was the primary caregiver, it became very 24/7 round the care nursing with two patients, not one. And there were many days when I literally would get to, midnight I had alarms on my phone every hour, sometimes every 30 minutes. One of them needed medication or repositioning or check this wound or check that incision. It was very stressful. And I would sometimes realize, I don't think I ate anything today. I got to put something in my mouth. So I would eat ice cream, in the middle of the night because it was already available and I didn't have to cook. I didn't have to do any dishes, it was just a spoon, eat it right out of the container. So I was on the very high stress Haagen-Dazs plan.
Wow.
And that's an excellent way to pack on serious belly fat. I mean, I feel like I kind of felt like I had a wheelbarrow full of rocks when it was all said and done, by the end of September. And my belly was just really big, and it was cortisol fat. It was, I earned it. And I've never been a tiny person anyway, but it was really bad. So I, one night stumbled across a video on Facebook that the owner of this company, the product that Joy and I are both using, posted, had nothing to do with weight loss or anything with this product. It was a video honoring what would have been his mom's 92nd birthday. And she recently passed, and it was just a really sweet video of him and his mom on the couch. And he's a big, tall, lanky, 6.5 feet guy. And his mom's a lot smaller, and she kept laying her head on his shoulder. And he was asking her, having lived so many decades on this earth, what are the things that really matter? And so she was talking from the heart about things that mattered to her. And it was just so sweet. And after the experience I had of almost losing my son and everything that entailed, it just really spoke to my soul. So I commented on the video, and that's how this journey started. Led me to finding out that he and one of his best friends, who's been his personal doctor for over 15 years, created this formula that could help people with releasing excess weight when many other things hadn't worked. He's kind of like the last stop doctor that people fly from all over the country to talk to when they've tried a lot of other things. And he realized that it's actually a switch that shuts your metabolism off, and stress is one of the biggest ways that it gets flipped off.
Right.
So I was really sure that mine was not only off, but like jammed. So it just made sense to me. And those first 2 nights that I experienced the product, what happened for me was what my body needed. I actually slept 14 hours.
My goodness. Wow.
Those first 2 nights.
And so many people are looking for that type of answer with stress and sedentary lifestyle and, comfort eating and weight gain and aging. So, I mean, all those things together, it's like a huge part of the population. And it's really cool to see you post I just started watching your posts, and I see you going, I think I can give away this sweater, and look at this anymore.
That I think woke Sarah and I up. Sarah's just a baby. She's 54. Not yet. I'm 10 years older. I do know I'm 10 years older. I look at my life and I'm like, my mom's 25 years older than me. And I look, and it's like a blink of an eye and we age. And it's like, I want to be functionally fit. And I kind of, I'm really tired of wearing the one size jumpsuits and the big baggies, because generally speaking, I was always fit. And last year I was the least fit in my life.
You were a bodybuilder, weren't you?
Yeah. So I really love doing the workouts with the weights. I all of that kind of stuff, but I still, and I looked back, and 10 years ago, Dave and I did P90X, which is a great workout that includes a lot of lifting and just really good all over fitness. And now we're doing it again, but I could never have without this product, because the product gives you endurance and strength, which I did not know until other people are now, like Suzanne was saying, she used to use 30 pounds on one exercise at the gym, and now she's up to 80.
Oh my goodness.
Like in a month or two. So I'm now able to do things that I couldn't even imagine doing a month or two ago. And I just started around Christmas time. And so what I was saying, so 10 years between P90X and the onset of menopause to now, it's like gained about 2 pounds a year, which sounds like nothing, except for that's 20 pounds.
Yes.
And it wasn't muscle.
Yeah. No.
So I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
my goal is to get back at a certain number. We'll see. Like Sarah said, you never know, because now you're adding a little bit of muscle. But I'm down 10 pounds. And the thing is, and it was slower at first. I didn't have, this massive amount of weight loss because it's been 2.5 months or something like that. But I did measure myself in the beginning. And I think starting month 2, I measured my belly and it was down 4 inches. And I'm like, that got me really excited, because that counts more than anything, is like getting rid of the visceral fat that's dangerous and unattractive. So I'm just really excited on all ends that it's a real good health product. And I have a lot of friends, Linda, you being ex with Hippocrates, and I mean, raw foodie and greens and all this kind of stuff. You were impressed with the ingredients.
Yeah.
I shared it with you. I shared it with a lot of people who are not, a lot of times they're like, good luck. I don't really resonate with the ingredients, but everyone is like, oh man, the herbs and the nutrition and everything that they put in this, not to mention it tastes delicious. So I'm really grateful. And Sarah did not call me, I called her. And likewise, the people who are finding me, I'm just sharing. I mean, I have stood sideways and I've shown my big belly on Facebook.
You're so brave.
Yeah, but you know what? I decided that authenticity is what people need these days. There's too much fake news out there, airbrush look. So I just want to be real. And it's like, it doesn't matter what size someone is, but it's how they feel about themselves. And I didn't know just how discouraged and downright mean I was to myself by the way I talked to myself because of how I felt.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if it gives you extra strength and endurance, like you said, and boosting turning on the switch you were mentioning earlier of metabolism, that kind of, and Sarah mentioned it earlier too, with the cortisol kind of getting her switch cemented.
What is it called? Metabolic overload, Sarah?
And Dr. Drucker is our product formulator, and he's the one who discovered this condition after working with literally thousands of patients who he believed were compliant with the different weight loss regimens and tools that he provided, but they still weren't able to, their metabolism was switched off. No matter what they did, they just couldn't release the weight, especially our age group, we'll just say over 40. He just noticed the trend and the pattern. So he started working with different supplements and had quite a few patients with phenomenal results using these 14 different ingredients, but it was in pill form. So you literally took a handful of 14 tablets or capsules before lunch and another 14 before dinner. And people would stay compliant for, 30, 60, or maybe 90 days if they were really desperate, because it did work. But after that, it's like, oh my God, I just can't take these handfuls of pills, So as fate would have it, he was having a conversation with Ray Faltinsky one day. I think they were playing golf. They've become very good friends, even though he's his physician. And Ray asked him, what are you most excited about in your practice? What is it? He's always studying the latest health trends and the latest research. He's very into science. So he said, what are you most excited about lately? Anything new, And he told him, well, there's these specific 14 ingredients that are really flipping the switch and allowing people whose metabolism was literally switched off to switch back on again. And it can be switched off by a variety of different things. It can be trauma, it can be stress. Stress is the biggest one. Just the stress of all the changes that were forced on us, not chosen. A lot of people went into metabolic overload. So Ray said, well, yeah, we've got to make it in a form that tastes good. And that's a drink, no pills, no handfuls of pills. So they literally have been working on this together for 3 years.
Wow.
And Ray's background is that he has been very successful in the nutrition industry, and he's a picture of health himself. He's very congruent, which I love. And it just so happens that the top 4 ingredients we need to protect us from the big C word that everyone talked about in 2020 are in this formula.
And I was taking something to boost my immune system for months. I just thought that was a great thing to do. And as soon as I started taking this product, I knew that I did not need to double up. So this is, far more than just a weight loss or BeyondSlim type of product. It does far more for health. And that's why we're all talking, because I know, Linda, you wouldn't be interviewing us if it was a horrible product that you could get behind.
And also just to hear your story. I mean, not anything, obviously we can't just do anything, but something that can support the body, help us shed some of these extra pounds that some people just have such a hard time letting go or getting rid of, and they cannot figure out why this is not working. I'm starving myself and eating celery all day, but it is just important when it's a good, clean product that can help you out. It's important to share that information so people can look at it, on their own and see if it's something they might want to try. Obviously, I like to present things that people can do their own research, since I'm not a medical person, nor that's not my goal at this age in my life. But
nor do you play one on TV.
Yeah, I want to maybe with George Clooney or something like that. But that's over too. But what I trust is that people will see things like this and see if it's a fit for them, and see if it's something that they need or want to try. And kind of that's my goal with these little interviews, so that I give options to all different types of people with their issues, whatever they may be, and to find some inspiration and maybe some community too. So
I want to mention one of the things that I think is really positive here is that they offer a 90-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, cool.
Because they're so confident that for the average person, they're going to get really good results. And that feels really good for me. I think more and more people are ordering online, but there's a lot of skepticism about, will I like it, or will I really get the right product or whatever. So there's a lot of great information on this. And I know you're going to share it in this interview so that people can poke around and see if it resonates with them.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to post the link here at the bottom of the screen, but it's called zipslim.info/healthy-easy-green, which is, of course, the name of my website, but zipslim.info. And this is the site that you can go and check out the ingredients, check out the story, check out the founders of it, check out the doctors who are behind this, and some testimonials as well, and see, well, maybe I'm going to try this. Maybe this is something that could help me out here. If you do have any questions on all of this, please email me, text me, message me, and I will connect you with Joy or Sarah, and they can help you out with any of their story, any of their information, and what to expect, what to do. Now, thank you for that, you guys. So another thing is, besides taking the product, which is a drink twice a day, right? What kind of physical activity are you adding into that?
I committed to working at least 30 minutes a day. And of course, it's been cold in Vermont. So if I don't get outside, I've got an exercise bike. And I brought in a rack, like one of those baker's racks that was in my garage. And I brought it in, and I finally dusted off all my weights. And I've got, from the little baby ones up to big ones. And I've got my bands. And so I commit to doing the cardio. And now 1 month ago, we started doing the weights again, because it's really important to, add lean muscle to your body as you get older. And it's just a really good functional thing to do. Right. And I just could not get myself to do it in 2020. I had all this equipment, but I just didn't do it. But since committing to this and committing to stepping into a new year, and then my youngest two granddaughters moved to Vermont from California, it's like, I really have to have more energy. Yeah. My God, the first time I carried the almost 3-year-old around their property, she wanted Nima to carry her.
Yeah.
Oh, God, my arms were killing me. And I thought, I'm just a little weakling. So that was my motivation. So I do, the cardio, or in the beginning, it was just walking. And then, and I think for you, Sarah, you got into walking every day, right?
Yep. Yeah. So at first I really didn't have the energy. I mean, I was 100 pounds overweight. So just taking that 100 pounds extra for a walk was a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but that's how I started. I started with just gentle 30-minute walks every day. And there's actually a formula, which I think is really important that you ask that question. We call them the reboot rituals. And
Okay.
it's a total of 9 things. Joy can send those over and you can post them on your page or wherever you're going to share this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're common sense things that
Yeah.
we all know we should do, but we might not necessarily commit to,
Mhm.
such as getting 7 hours of sleep, such as drinking plenty of water,
Yeah.
such as moving your body 30 minutes a day in a
Mhm.
way that's fun for you. So maybe that means that you manually mow your own yard.
Right.
Maybe it means that you play tennis or swim or whatever it is that gets you up and moving.
Yes.
So for me, it was walking. And now I've released so far 49 pounds
That is
of,
amazing.
of
It
fluff.
sounded
Of
very,
this,
yeah,
of this.
that is,
Yes.
that's fat, Joy. Oh my
This
goodness.
is, I bought it off of Amazon. I have this. This is 1 pound. It's really
Oh my
gross.
goodness.
And so
It
you can
is
imagine,
gross.
Pound? Imagine
pound.
49 or 10 or 15 of those.
I
That's like
know.
packed on usually around our midsection. That's what's usually there, right?
Yes, they were all
In and
over,
out of
arms,
the
legs,
organs.
belly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrible. So, yeah, what I did is I found out that a gallon of water weighs a little over 8 pounds. And that was shocking to me. But I now, whenever I feel like, oh, this has taken too long, or I haven't made enough progress, or I'm only halfway, or any of those limiting stories that come up in our creative minds, I get 6 gallons of water, 3 in each hand, and carry them around for a few minutes and set them down. And I go, wow, I used to carry that much around day and night.
Yeah.
It's no wonder I was exhausted. It's no wonder I didn't have the energy to walk or
Yep.
whatever. So I'm very grateful that I've been able to release that much. And it's by doing the 9 rituals. It's not just a magic Kool-Aid that you drink and then, don't change anything else in your life. I
What
find
about
that
your
my
diet?
sugar I'm sorry?
What about your diet? What did you change in your diet?
Yeah. So I find that I'm not craving carbs anymore. I used to get hangry. And I mean, seriously, not nice to be around. And it would just be like, food, anything. And it was usually a carb
Yeah.
that I would be craving, whether it was chips or sweets or something like that.
Mhm.
And that just, man, that switch got flipped for sure. And it's not a discipline to not choose those things. They literally don't cross my mind.
That's awesome.
And so your cravings change. So what I do is I have a large salad every single day, lots of raw veggies, as organic as I can, as I can get.
Right.
Usually it's 100% organic. I eat a whole avocado every single day, usually in my salad.
Yeah.
So lots of good, yummy veggies. And I think that's important to give your body tools to work with. And then for dinner, I call it lean and green.
Mhm.
So some form of protein. I'm not a vegetarian, so I'll have chicken or beef or whatever. Sometimes it's an omelet. Sometimes I have an omelet for dinner. But again, lots of green veggies. And I do have, there's no food groups that are off limit. There's not a strict diet plan, but that's what
Oh,
I've chosen.
that's really helpful
Um,
because
y-
sometimes
yeah,
those strict plans are not sustainable. I mean,
right.
they're just not sustainable. I had a family member who tried a program, and it was a lot of these little aluminum foil pouches with little
Oh
kind of
no.
nuggets in them that were supposed to be like super duper proteiny, winning and whatever's. But it was like, you can't. And then she'd sit down at the table with the family and eat these little pouches of not
Oh
food.
dear.
These really weren't foods. They were just some type. And anyway, she said, I can't sustain this. So it's much better to eat
Yeah.
what the family is mostly eating in a more sensible
Absolutely.
way. Salads, lean meats, if you're still eating meats, and, eggs, but probably not so much fatty cheeses or things like that, because that can pack on some pounds. I found cheese and whatnot. But yeah, it sounds like a really
Yeah.
healthy way to go, and it's sustainable. I mean, it's not like,
Well, I almost did that yucky little packet plan because I was feeling very desperate. And we make desperate choices when we feel like we don't have options.
yeah.
And that particular one that I was looking at was all prepackaged meals. It came from a factory. It was almost $500 a month.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just ready to push the button. And I thought to myself, this is insane. My kids are not going to approve of this because
Uh,
I call them the labeled Nazis.
yeah.
Uh, they're very aware. My son actually is a certified integrative nutritionist,
Oh,
not the
great.
one in the accident, the older son. And, he's pretty strict about what's okay and what's not okay. And he's educated. You can't not know once you know. So
Yeah.
I thought if I do that, I am going to be in such big trouble with my kids.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you're done
So
with those pouches, what I've seen is the pounds just come right on back in. And I've seen some
yeah,
who did that program as well, a few years ago. They looked great while they were on the program, but and they lost weight really fast. But as soon as they stopped it, because it was really expensive, like
oh yeah,
hundreds of dollars a month, they just
hmm
ballooned right back up again. It was really sad and discouraging for them, and it was
yeah,
hard to see. So this is more normal, natural, sustainable,
yes,
logical, sensible, and
yes.
easy to do. What about you,
The
Joy? Oh, sorry, Sarah. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say the product actually comes with a free guide and it's called the Thin Recipe Guide.
Oh, cool.
And Thin stands for totally high in nutrition.
Oh,
So it's not about just having, quote unquote diet foods or like you said, eating celery all day.
look at
But
that.
if you have a choice between something that's high in nutrition and something that's low in nutrition,
Right.
then if you start consistently 70 or 80% of the time choosing the more nutritious choice, your
Mhm.
body will begin to crave that. And then you develop a lifelong habit that serves you, until the day that you check out with high energy and great health. And that's what I want. I don't have an interest in getting to a certain size just to prove that I can and then
Yeah.
not being strong.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, our tastes do change, and that's what I would tell people with the Hippocrates program. Even if it's a modified or partial Hippocrates program, which is raw, living, green foods mainly, not totally, but it's like your tastes do change. Eventually,
Absolutely.
you are going to have either a meat or a cheese, and you're going to go, I don't want this in my mouth anymore. This feels like I'm chewing on. One time I remember when I went to Hippocrates the first time, because down there is raw, 95% raw while you're there. They
Right.
they talk about an 80-20 diet of raw versus and cooked foods, but it's all vegan. So no meats, obviously, no dairy, no animal products whatsoever. And I was a big cheese eater back up in Quebec back then, and I still do love cheese, so I have to be very careful with it. But so when I came back after 3 weeks of this wonderful cleansing program, I came back so squeaky clean inside and out and full of energy, and tasted a piece of cheese, and it felt like I had a mouthful of butter. It was so unpleasant that I said, okay, that's what cheese is now for me. It's like
Wow.
chewing on a stick of butter, not so good because of the fat content. So, but you're
Yeah.
saying that, yes, your tastes do change. So that's really cool. What about you, Joy? Have you?
Similar, and I do have cheese on occasion. But when you become a customer, if you choose to buy the product, you do get this guide, which I printed out. You also get this metabolic reboot program guide that also has the wheel with the reboot rituals. So even though all three of us probably know what to do for healthy living, it was
Mhm.
really nice to have it put together and just follow and just be aware and not have to come up with it yourself. So it's all in place. And there's a lot of people who aren't educated when it comes to what to eat.
Yeah.
And even saying gratitude things each day is one of the reboot rituals. It's like, what a beautiful thing. Yeah, but feel so blessed that I said yes, because I sat back behind the curtain, peeking, kind of seeing what was going on with Sarah for a while. And like I said, she and another friend, I mean, are unrecognizable. I'm like, dang, I
Oh,
want what you guys have.
there you go. There you go. Now, does this
Yeah.
ship to all countries, or is this just a United States product?
US right
USA
now.
only for now.
Only.
Yeah. We actually just launched January 2nd. So I like to say we're in our first trimester of this baby.
My goodness. This
Um,
January 2020, 21?
Yes. Yep. So
Wow.
because I knew Ray and was a friend of his in the past, I was able to sneak in as one of the little pre-launch guinea pigs.
Oh, there you go.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So my start date on the product was September 27th. So I was 3 months in when we actually launched and did our grand opening on January 2nd.
That's great.
But yeah, thank God for that. Because at that point I was down 34 pounds
Yeah.
and had gone from a size 20 to a size 14.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'm so thankful I didn't have to wait till January.
And plus you needed it for your, for your exhaustion and your just rebooting and just coming back from all of that you live. That's really great. That's an
Yes.
amazing story, Sarah, an amazing story for Joy as well. And I thank you both for hanging out with me this afternoon. It was just
Yeah.
great fun, and I was really inspired to see the beautiful lake with the ducks on it that you're on.
Shall we close with a view of the lake? I'll
Oh,
take you all
sure.
outside.
Oh, sure. That'd be great. Folks, while Sarah finds the lake picture, I'm going to just post one more time the link to look at the ingredients and see if this might be something you want to try. And I thank Joy and Sarah for being here with us, and Sarah for, finding a way to get with us on the other side of the country here. Look at that view. That is just a beautiful afternoon. So
Yes.
hope you enjoy that view, and I know you will, and you know you are, and I know you're grateful for everything that's there right now. So bravo.
Absolutely.
All the best to both of you. And thanks again.
Thank
And we'll be
you.
in touch. And again, everybody, don't forget, if you do want any more information, please message me or something, find me. And then I will connect you with Joy and Sarah. Okay?
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Linda.
Look at this picture of
Have a nice
Sarah.
day.
Right? Look at this picture of Sarah right there in front of the lake. You need a selfie. You need to take a selfie right there. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thanks again, ladies. Love you. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. I wanted to just do a quick little postscript here for everybody, because once we closed the recording, Sarah went in front of her lake. She let her hair down and she wanted to show us how beautiful her lake was. That was our closing scene for us. But then she started telling me about her walking, because how much she's gained in strength. So tell us your most recent. Tell us first about your group where you're keeping everybody together to help each other out, and then your walking.
Oh, sure. So we have one of the things that makes our program, I think, so successful and keeps people plugged in is we have a reboot group where we check in every single day through Facebook message. It's not it takes 2 seconds. You just kind of report to headquarters. Of the 9 rituals, how many did you do? So it looks like a fraction. So 9/9 is a perfect score.
Nice.
Sometimes, if you didn't get 7 hours of sleep, for example, then you would have an 8/9. But you report in, and that accountability has made a big difference in staying committed on the days when you might not necessarily feel like being a good girl.
Yeah.
So, and then we were talking about the difference in when I started, barely being able to do a 30-minute walk because I was carrying so much extra weight, to this past week, I hiked to 2 different amazing waterfalls. It was about a 5-mile hike.
Oh, great.
And some of it was, pretty steep, pretty intense. And I'll have to send you a picture, but I took a picture by the waterfall and I just was overwhelmed with gratitude that my legs are so strong and I'm getting so healthy, and I'm halfway to my goal. I still have another, I don't know how many pounds to release really, because I'm getting so strong that I think the muscle weighs more than fat, So I don't know what I'll end up weighing. I don't really care, but I know my goal is a size 10.
Okay.
And I started as a size 20. So I'll literally be half my size, about a 14 now. And I'm just so grateful that I get to, I'm able to do that walk. I'm able to take that hike and go to places that I would have never gotten to go see that waterfall. And it was amazing. It was over 200 feet tall. So I tell myself, my body is the shape I live in, and it shapes the way I live my life.
Mm, mm.
So imagine what's possible when you're in the very best shape. You can do anything. There are no limits.
Mhm.
So
no limits.
I'm
girl.
excited. Yes. Thank
you
you.
for that proscript, and bravo again. All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye,
Bye,
Linda.
Joy. See
Bye,
you.
Joy.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great day.
You too.
You too.
Bye. Thanks again.